We can let them in, baby. Let them in. Boom, boom, boom. Let's go. Got it. Oh, hey, folks. Come on in. Let's see if I can start. I won't paste my link. That's all right. Welcome, welcome, welcome. What's up, Jason? Let's see if I'm where I'm supposed to be. All right, we're going to go ahead and get started. I know Sheena will be with us shortly. Actually, we'll give folks a couple more minutes. I know we have a couple more people join us, but just let you know, we are going to start with everyone just introducing themselves and to the capacity to be REI space, and maybe one thing they maybe want to get out of the conversation today, and then we'll keep rocking and rolling. So again, we'll give a couple folks a little bit of time. What's up, lady? Chase. What's up, REI Just? What's up? What's up? What does this look like over there? Which station is? Should I go ahead and jump in?
I'd maybe give it another minute or two.
Man, with the Wholesale Queen. What's up? We waiting for you. You got the link? You got the Zoom link? We waiting for you over here. How you doing? See, Sheena just logged in on the IG page. Make sure she actually has the link here. I know exactly how I'm gonna do that. Right, here she comes. There we go. All right, folks. I am Courtney Rollins, host of the Capacity to Be Real Estate Investing Meetup. And right beside me, or maybe next to me in the screen, is my partner and co-founder of Aqua Team Properties, Sheena Melvin. She'll be able to introduce herself in a moment. But we primarily are wholesalers and investors out in the DMV, Baltimore, Maryland area. We'd like to say we try to help people solve problems and create opportunities for income and wealth through real estate. And our primary focus, as we said, is wholesaling. If you're checking this out on YouTube or you're checking this out on Instagram Live and you're not sure what wholesaling and things are, I'll just give you a brief rundown. Wholesaling, basically say it's the art of sourcing deals. Every single real estate deal or any transaction has to have a property involved. It has to have an agreement involved. And where we come in is we source the deals. And really what you do from there is really up to you. Wholesaling is just one of the strategies. And that means you're taking the contract and you're assigning your rights to the contract to another partner investor. But maybe you decide to hold on to it for, building generational wealth, or maybe you decide to fix it up and actually add value in a different way and resell it for that income that you can receive. But again, it all starts with talking to sellers, and that's what we primarily focus on. We also love giving back, love sharing, love learning with folks, and that's why we have the Capacity to Be REI Meetup. It meets every third Thursday at 7 p.m. We try to have some of the awesome folks across the nation in our areas that primarily look like us or have diverse backgrounds that you don't necessarily always see in real estate investing. I really feel like we're part of a revolution. We're like part of a really a people of color and Black people economic revolution. It is awesome to be a part of with all we're in the information age, the YouTube University and all that stuff. And so being able to connect with folks like Sheena, like Daia, like Jason, and all the folks that we've been able to connect with because of the internet is an amazing thing. I see she just jumped on here, so that's awesome. Before we jump over to her, what we want to do I'll let you know, set the rules, let you know how things are going to work out. We're going to allow you in a few seconds to introduce yourself to folks who are up here. Share your name, share where you're from, share why you came up here, what you're looking for. Closed mouths don't get fed. There might be somebody on here that you find, or someone who's listening that may be able to connect with you and help you with what you're doing, or you may be able to help somebody. Breathe in, breathe out. You got to give to be able to receive. You got to receive to be able to give. So we'd love for folks to introduce themselves, and then we'll really jump in with the Wholesale Queen, Sheena Mullins. I'm so excited. So how about I'm gonna jump to my partner, Shanita. You want to introduce yourself?
Hi, everyone. So like Courtney mentioned, I'm Shanita. I am the other half of Aqua Team. Courtney and I have come a long way in building our company. We're really proud of the progress that we've made. And like he mentioned, it's really important for us to come together with like-minded individuals to share, pour into each other, support one another so that we can build generational wealth. If other people can do it, why can't we, right? So nice to meet everybody.
Nice to meet you.
Let's go to Shayna. I think you're next. Introduce yourself, please, and what you're doing in real estate, whether you're just starting out or been doing it forever, and what brought you up here. If I'm saying your name correctly, please forgive me if I'm not. Put you on the spot. Didn't know you're gonna be talking today.
Is it Shannon or me?
Shannon? Maybe it's Shannon.
Sheena.
Oh, do you mean me?
So I'm tearing the name up. I work at Park School. I'm just not I'm not making no jokes. But yeah. Please introduce yourself. Yeah.
Me, Shannon?
Yeah. How you doing?
Oh, I'm sorry. I wasn't sure if you were talking to me or someone else. I'm Shannon. I've been working as a loan signing agent for the past year, and I recently started a commercial appraising apprenticeship. So I like to purchase my first home for myself soon, and then after that, start investing in primarily in Baltimore.
Heck yeah, that's what's up. We got to connect. Absolutely.
Oh, and I don't know if there are like any young people here, but I also joined an accelerator called Project REAP, and it's for people who are interested in commercial real estate, and it's for people of color. So if you're looking to break into commercial real estate, there's a great program called Project REAP. And after I finish it, I would love to talk about my experience if anyone else is interested.
Absolutely. And please drop your information into the chat. After we get all these gems and learn more about Sheena Mullins, we'll have the opportunity for people to jump in and share and interact and talk. It really depends on what the space looks like as far as how maybe break out in small groups, but we may just stay tight together if it's a smaller number of us. But definitely put your information in. And what I'll do is copy and paste and put it in the seller notes, because we're going to repurpose this, put this back out in YouTube world so we can be evergreen and people can benefit forever. Thanks for sharing. It sounds like an exciting program.
Yeah, I'm excited. I think it starts on next Thursday. So hopefully by the next meeting, I'll have something to report back.
Oh, there it is. There it is. Keva, am I saying your name correctly?
Yes, it's Kiva.
Yeah, Kiva, what's up?
Yes, hi. Yes. So my name is Kiva. I'm based out of Atlanta. I wholesale full time, like on the outskirts of Atlanta, and I'm here just to network with everybody, learn as much as I can, and add as much value as I can.
That's what's up. I heard Atlanta is popping and bumping. That's what's up.
It definitely is.
Yeah, and Braxton, you just click that link right there above. If you want to come jump in, it might have been you just jumped in. But yeah, if you're on the YouTube, you actually want to see these beautiful faces or beautiful stills, you can click on the link that's in there. But if you want to just keep on listening and watching my face, you definitely can as well. You're still going to be able to hear a lot of great stuff. Let's go to Jason and Quinn, the power couple.
What's going on? Can you hear me?
Yeah, what's up, Mr. Owens?
I was cool. Yeah, it's like you saying, my name's Jason. Quinn actually just had to go upstairs real quick, but well, I'm from DC. She's from California, but we live in the Baltimore area. Bet this wholesale thing for about a year and some change. Haven't landed one yet, to be honest, but had a couple close calls, but still trying to land that first one. Just powering through it.
You still in there. That's what matters, man. You still in there, man. You need to holler at Sheena, holler at us, and definitely you know, you're in the right place if you're trying to soak it up and learn. Like Kiva's also doing it. So yeah, you're definitely in the right place. What about Braxton? You want to jump in, please? We sharing who we are, why we're here, and all that stuff.
Yeah, what's going on, everybody? Can you hear me?
Absolutely.
What's going on? So funny how the world works. I'm in the middle of actually cold calling right now. Hop on YouTube and see a recommendation in my YouTube about the YouTube channel. Funny thing is, such a small world. I've seen you guys bandit signs in PG County often. And Miss Sheena, I believe, she just did a live with what I call my OG, Mr. Mark Rollins. Yeah, Mark is my OG. I've been wholesaling partnership with Mark for about a year and a half now. But yeah, my name is Braxton. I wholesale in Baltimore. I'm also a loan officer for Rocket Mortgage. So I put in a lot of hours in the real estate. Really, really like it. Really love talking to people.
That is dope, man. It's a small world indeed, man. It's a great place time to be alive. Thanks for sharing, man. Samia. Samaya. All right, let's see. Maybe I'm tearing up the name, but I think I saw Malcolm up here.
Yeah.
Yeah, what's going on?
Nothing much. Just interested in what y'all doing.
All
Eager
right,
to
cool.
learn it.
Well, come on, you're in the right place to learn. Thank you. Like, what area are you in now?
Baltimore.
Okay, heck
Baltimore.
yeah. That's it. There it is then. Well, sounds great. All right. We'll definitely have to link up, especially all of the Baltimore to be more folks. Monica, how you doing? You want to share what you're here for and all that stuff and what you're doing with real estate? Monica Twine.
Hey, I'm Monica, North Myrtle Beach. I'm wholesale. Sheena is my mentor, and I'm hopping on to see what y'all are, just to get some nuggets today, to get involved, to be a part of the community.
Amen to that. Amen to that. You're in the right hands. You know better than us.
Yes.
What about Rachel? And we're gonna go through 3 more minutes, and then if other folks will have a chance at the end, but we definitely want to respect and get these gems, but we definitely want to hear from you all too. We are the community. Rachel.
Hi, I work with Sheena and Courtney at the Aqua team. And I just want to stop by and learn.
That's what's up. Rachel is the quarterback. She's our lead manager. Oh man, teamwork, make the dream work. Good to see you. Good to see you up here. Am I saying Tabron? Or at least Tabron's iPhone. All right, I'm gonna just throw it out there. I'm doing my school.
I'm sorry about that. I'm sorry about that. My name is Tabron. I'm from Baltimore. I'm just here to gain some knowledge on some wholesaling. I'm new to it, so I just want to learn more about it and actually know how to do the process and everything. So
well, that is awesome. We appreciate that. I appreciate that. So is anybody else gonna have a chance to go at all? All right, what I'm gonna do is pin you here. And folks, just like we said, for the Aqua team, we jump on every night or every afternoon and make calls live in front of everybody. It's like, hey, just want to show how simple it can be. It's not easy, but how simple the process is. And I was blessed, or we were blessed to come across this learning with the Wholesale Queen. I was like, oh, the Wholesale Queen, that's what's up. And then I saw her channel. I don't even remember exactly how we met. You may have jumped on a last Capacity to Be meetup, but started following her, and I was just so inspired. I was telling everybody about, like, man, she putting out that fire content. You could tell from jump that she has just a big heart, cares about all her mentees, cares about the integrity of the game, and is also a great representative of how you brand yourself, how you carry yourself out there in the digital world. And so I have tons of questions, but without any further ado, I want to introduce you, Mullins. How are you doing, Sheena?
You see the new one?
You might want to, hey, folks out there, you might want to mute yourself as well. Sorry about that. Thanks, everybody.
Hi, guys. Hi, Sheena. I'm finally seeing your face. Thank you for having me. I'd be very remiss to give this guy some accolades. I've jumped on a few lives and I've never been disappointed. I've learned things each and every time. And I know that he wanted all of us to say why we're here. And I'm here for a reason too. I'm very big on connecting with others, whether I can help them or whether you can help me. I think we can all help each other. So I'm very big on networking. And as I coach and mentor all of my mentees, I explain to them why it is important to build these relationships, because I know that we can get 15 wholesale houses, but if there's no relationship and rapport there, at the end of the month, when it's time to close these deals, we're down to one. So your relationships is very important in this. And I'm definitely here to soak up anything that I can soak up as well. I'm all ears.
We appreciate that. And so Sheena, can you tell us, how did you get started? How did you get started in real estate? Tell us about your journey so far.
So to be honest with you, I was in trucking. I'm still in trucking. And I ventured off into wanting to take my real estate class to get my license. Right. And as I was in the process of doing that, I think it was a 9 to 5 or 9 to 2 class. I started learning about wholesale by going home, Googling. And as I was Googling to try to be a better realtor. I was preparing to be a realtor. And the guy that sat next to me in my real estate class as I was studying, he's like, "Hey, I'm just here to get the information." I'm like, "Oh, why are you doing that?" And he's like, "Well, I own a storage facility. And I learned that if I wholesale it, I'd make a whole lot more than putting it on an MLS." So I'm like, "Oh, well, what's wholesale?" Of course, I went and did my homework. And I started looking more and more into it. And quite naturally, the first thing we want to Google when we're learning about wholesale is wholesaling legal? Right. That is the first thing that I Googled. And I did. And I started learning about what states we can and can't do it in without getting some type of licensing or paying fees. And from there, I took off. I just started to network and meet different builders, meet developers, find myself working with investors, and I talked to people. I literally set up shop every day at Starbucks for almost a year. And I made it my point to talk to someone every day. And I met a few investors right there in Starbucks, sitting there, trying to figure out how I was going to take my business to the next level.
So you like, what do you mean? How intentional was that? You mean you just a random stranger, or you had people lined up?
No, well, what happened was I had placed my daughter in a specific school. And because I placed her in that school, I was like, "Hey, I'm driving here every day. I'm not going to keep driving back." And it was 58 minutes away from my house. Oh, wow. So I said, "I'm going to go to work in Starbucks." And that's what I did. I sat in Starbucks and I started working. And meanwhile, I was juggling my trucking at the same time. And I met my first investor sitting right there. He now has 2 restaurants locally here in Atlanta, in Greenville. And quite naturally, when you start to meet people start to talk, and they're like, "Hey, I met this girl. She's really nice. She's getting into wholesale." And my very first wholesale deal was a word of mouth. "Hey, I think this girl can sell your vacant or she had an inherited property." That's what it was. Her mother passed away, left her 4 houses. One of them was in really bad condition. I had no idea what I was doing. I acted as if I did. I mean, I know they say that's the worst thing, but hey, I did it. I'll admit it. I acted as if I knew what I was doing. I had no idea. My first deal, you'll never forget. I'm sure you remember your first deal. I made $5,250. I actually have that check put right, the stub of it put right here in my folder. I'll never forget that. That's my humbling check. Yeah,
it don't even matter how big or small it is. Just like, oh my gosh, I made this happen. Proof of concept. There's a couple of things I'm hearing from your story right there. One, just shout out to Starbucks, and Panera was my office for about a year before transitioning and all. But one, just like taking advantage of looking at what your environment is, what your setting is, and saying, okay, how can I use this to my advantage? Not how can I use this as an excuse? You're doing something. It sounds like you were making a big sacrifice for your daughter's education, traveling 2 hours basically, right? A day.
Going and coming, and that's minus traffic.
It's like, okay, how can I take
that was that straight commute, but if it was traffic, forget it. She was late a lot of mornings.
Whew, yes, yeah. So like, and for folks out there who are thinking like, okay, what barriers do I have? How do you turn those barriers into an asset and being able to utilize I'm here. I might as well use the space, and I might as well be loud. That's this other thing I'm hearing. You're being loud, talking to people, getting to know folks, and that communication is so key. And then the last point, well, not last point, other point I hear is like, you know, the fake it till you make it thing is there's obviously there's a balance, but you got to be it before you can become it, right? You got to be able to see it. So like being able to be in that step and say, this is me, I'm successful, I'm this, I'm that. You got to tell yourself subconsciously and consciously that, so that you can step into that. And that sounds exactly like what you did. But I want to just back up for a second. We got a ton of wholesalers on this live right now, but for folks who maybe are just doing what you're doing, like, man, I'm trying to find out what is wholesale, and they come across this for the first time and they watching the Wholesale Queen. Can you just give us a brief, like, just what is wholesaling for folks?
So I look at wholesale like the middleman. I even put it in my in one of my videos as it's like you're finding property and you're finding it at a discount. And I a lot of times I revert to Sam's Club. You're actually going to get something at a discounted price, and you may be able to get more than one of them, but you're buying bulk of it, and you're buying it at a discounted price, and you can do it over and over again, as long as you have those necessary memberships to keep on moving. I heard you say something that was really, really important about actually faking it till you make it. You know, a lot of times that is the catch-22 that we're in when we start wholesaling, when we start trying to figure it out. Okay, we can watch umpteen videos and we can watch. I think I was stuck between that place of watching Max Maxwell until I couldn't watch him anymore.
Shout out to Max Maxwell.
I learned so much. The guy is awesome with what he shows. And I could tell you, I made it a point. I knew what time my kid had to be to school. I was up at 4 a.m. Every morning I watched a tutorial video to try to learn something. Everything else was literally, okay, I'm gonna practice driving for dollars for an hour. When I got ready to go pick her up, I knew that I was going to venture off to her school. I made that my hour. So to be honest with you guys, nothing really took off until I made in my mind that I had to put a system in place. And that deal, even though it was a referral, that referral deal made me believe that I could actually get out and do this, because I'm like, okay, this is all the ending looks like. Now, let me implement these steps that this guy that I'm watching is telling me that I need to do. So I started implementing those steps every single day. When I said I eat, slept, breathe, wholesale, I wanted to learn and soak up everything possible. I got in front of attorneys. I called title companies. I was building my rapport. And that's what I teach my mentees in my class. I know that there are people that have way more money than me, but I tell them, it's the relationship for me first. Build your relationships, because guess what? If your deal is good, it's going to sell. There's no question about that. So if you don't have a buyer, you're on contracted time. So what happens? So you have to have that buyer.
And the underlying thing is just that consistency, leveraging time and habits. Like a relationship isn't just a, hey, how you doing? And then it's on, but you would every day immersed in it. It requires that. I mean, can you talk a little bit about like, how did you, when you weren't seeing it, like, come to fruition, just, day one, like, people go to the gym and work out and like, oh man, I got to do this again tomorrow. I heard some comedians say that, like, so how did you keep up the willpower to like, keep going?
So number one, let me back up here. As I had a remote job also. So I don't want anybody to ever think that working is not, you're not able to work and do this. So meanwhile, when I wasn't brokering my deals right there on the side, I got a little discouraged, and it happens, but you have to have that determination and dedication every single day. But if you have a job while you're doing this, keep your job. That was my main thing. So I did get a job in the process because I wanted to eliminate trucking for a minute so I could focus on it. So I got a job, and eventually I moved closer to my daughter's school. So I didn't have that commute. I set up shop right in my home, and I was working my job. But what I was doing was leveraging my job, because I knew that it was a means to an end. Right. And at the end of the day, COVID hit. So I was doing deals here and there. In the midst of me getting that first deal, in the midst of me getting that second deal, was a matter of about 8 to 10 days. So I got that first deal, and I got that second deal. And I will promise you, if you build those relationships, all you have to remember is that investors, developers, builders, they associate with like-minded people. Their friends are investors. Their pastors are investors. Their attorneys, their cigar bars, they are all investors in some shape or form, whether they want land, whether they want commercial, whether they want houses. They associate with other people that are investors. So it took me a good bit of time to actually build my list. I have a list.
Okay.
But when I got my first 3 or 4 deals, they were all from word of mouth based on what experience they had with me.
Okay.
So when I really started grinding, it was a different hustle for me, because at the end of the day, I'm like, okay, this came because I did this. This came because I did this. Now, how do I make this duplicate itself? Matter of fact, how do I make more money? Because that's the end goal here. I want to make more money because I want freedom. And so I figured out in my mind that I know that people love great service. So I initiated wholesaling with class, because all I kept hearing was on the YouTubes or on different segments on the internet, those wholesalers, they don't know what they're doing. Those wholesalers, the numbers are bad. They're shady. They're this, they're that. And I'm sitting back in the cut like, wait a minute, I'm not shady. My numbers will be right. I will be professional. I'm getting ready to step out here. And when I tell you I stepped with everything that I need, all the muscle that I needed to say, I'm doing this with class. So stop the stigma, because you had a bad experience. And that's what I took off with, wholesaling with class. I wanted to do it, and I wanted to be professional, because they think of a real estate agent as the professional one. And this is not bashing, because guess what? They're the other 20% of my business. I get deals from agents all the time.
Relationships. That is amazing. And I think that you can tell, like, if you ever go to any of her content at all, that it does have that, like, that's that brand awareness that, hey, this is a touch of class. This is something that's going to be professional. And it's a thing to our advantage, but it's also a challenge when we have wholesalers who are, sometimes not even on purpose, but just out of just not knowing, sometimes causing damage, sometimes on purpose causing damage to the reputation. But it also is, again, another opportunity for you and for folks to stand out, to lead with integrity, lead with professionalism, and lead with class. So if folks are out there, you see a repeated theme that, hey, it takes commitment, but it also takes integrity to be able to stand out. And the good thing about it, if you're willing to do those two things, then you are going to be able to stand out and be successful. The question I do have, though, is, can you talk a little bit more of how, maybe one aspect of those, a strategic system you use to be able to develop those relationships? Like, I heard you had a list, but was there like something that you did like on the daily basis? And I know that people can sign up for a mentorship and a coaching and get this stuff and all, but if you would just give us a little bit of something, like what's like maybe one gem or something that you can give us, like, hey, I can start doing this tomorrow to make sure I'm keep maintaining these relationships and developing these relationships.
It's a secret, and I'm going to tell you guys right here today.
Uh-oh.
And I hate to bring Brent Daniels in here, but he could have not been more brilliant when he came up with talk to people. Okay, it is in your lips, this little member. I'm good at doing that. So I'm like, okay, wait a minute. I know that every time I've talked to someone, I've sat down with them, they have turned into a client. And it was in the midst of, I'm here on the 15th day and I don't have a wholesale deal. What do I do? It's that call that I get that says, hey, I sat with you at Starbucks, or hey, we sat at Methodical Coffee 7 months ago. I have a house that I would like for you to wholesale for me. So when that system started working, when I wasn't expecting it, that's when I knew that really worked.
Wow.
And I promise you, almost every time I had a slow month, something kicked in.
Okay.
I also, when I'm out driving for dollars, which I did do that. When I'm out doing driving for dollars, I did things like look at the construction in the site, in the area, and the construction that's happening in those areas, well, you got a foreman there. So if you're seeing construction in that area, something is probably happening in that area that we don't know about. So I would go out to those sites, I don't care if they're Spanish. I don't care if they're from Guatemala. I don't care where they were from. I'm trying to make a contact. I want to know who's in charge. I would like to know who's the one controlling this ship out here. So whether they would speak to me in Spanish or I'd leave with just a card, I was making that contact. So I eventually would get those cards if the foreman is not there. And guess what happened? GCs are also investors. So one deal in specific that I would like to share with you guys is I had a property under contract, and right next door to the property that I put under contract, after I put it under contract, the GC started working on this vacant house that was next door. Wow. So they started working on that project. I walked over there one day as I was letting someone in to look at mine, and I discovered that he was going to be my buyer for the one that I had under contract. He wanted it. He closed with me right then and there. He says, "What do I need to take this house?" I said, "The money, of course." So we put the deal under contract. We locked the deal up, and those can turn into your clients. So you have to first identify your target market. So most times wholesalers are all over the place. This just happened just the other day with a wholesaler that called me. You have to know what you're doing, what you're talking about. So if you're dibbling and dabbling with land, you need to know land, because guess what? You cannot go to these savvy builders that know land and sell them land. You need to know what is it zoned for. You need to know what can be built there. You need to know if it's the actual topography of it. You need to know if it's flat, if it's risen, if it's going to be needing to be filled. These are things that you need to know. And if you don't have these questions, they're going to feel like you're wasting their time right then and there. So I know that this sounds crazy, but a lot of builders are very spoiled. They know that people know that they're going to build, right? So when you approach them, they're going to immediately say, "Tell me what I can do with this project." They don't want to take the time to look at,
right?
Yeah, they want to know, what can I do with this project? What can you share with me? And if it sounds good, I want to buy it.
Yeah.
So that is something that we could remember in the beginning of wholesaling. Try the vacant houses. They're the easiest in the beginning. Vacant houses are the easiest. Absentee owners, easy. Try those because they're easy. And then the more you learn, the more you can start understanding these other scenarios. You can understand now, okay, what is it going to take to build on property? Sit with the builder, have a meeting, ask them their expectation. Matter of fact, ask them what return on investment are they looking for? Because when you find out what they want, that's how you're able to look for what they want. So I started doing this. I had 4 different investors, and I stopped at 4 investors. And here's why. I find myself putting a halt to me. I feel like I'm capable of a lot, but I don't want to ever drop the ball. That's just something that's probably an imperfection for me. I could probably go more than what I'm doing. And I know that, but I don't want to fail anybody. So I would often get a deal, work that deal until I see it to close, then get another deal. Well, now I'm slowly filling that pipeline so that when that deal is closing, another one might be closing that same day. But whatever makes you comfortable, because when you're uncomfortable, the actual client is going to feel it. They're going to feel that. And in order for you to start being successful, you need to feel comfortable in your skin. You need to know what you're doing. So I work with those 4 investors, and I learned their buy box. Okay. Within that buy box, I would meet with them. I said, okay, send me over your buy box. In that buy box, they're going to tell me how much money they would like to net on each project, whether it's 25, 35, 45, or they give me a range. After I get that buy box, then they're telling me, I want it in this zip code. I would like it to be this type of foundation. So I learned those 4 buyers buy box, and guess what? I seek those properties specifically for them.
You're out in Greenville, right? Greenville, South Carolina?
Greenville, South Carolina.
So fun. I would drive up and down from when I was in Chapel Hill, drive down to Atlanta with my folks. And for some reason, I always thought Greenville was bumping, popping. Yeah, the Chapel Thrill, heck yeah. But you know, if folks who are here, if you have questions, or folks on Instagram, in the place, if you have questions, throw them in the comment box. We'll definitely get to them. We'll also open it up a little later. But I did want to come back to a couple of, I have tons of notes here. But you mentioned Max Maxwell and Brent Daniels, and these are 2 folks out here. That's actually how Sheena and I came across wholesaling. We started in 2019, and we actually started doing little direct mail. We were still consistent, but it was such a small volume. We ended up getting 2 properties where I described it as we were like the dogs who caught the car. We're like, oh shoot, what do we do now? Quickly
raced it down and caught it.
Yeah, we ran out of funds, and we're like, oh man, how do we, keep doing this? We're trying to burn. We were doing things, not the right way, but we were still going. Then I ran to Maxwell's story, so inspirational. Started listening to Brent because I heard him on Mac's show, but it's still, we're in January 2020, and piecing that stuff together. It took us until June to get our first deal that closed, and it was like between 12 deals that we had locked up and we're falling apart. So Jason and folks out there, keep going, man. I still have videos of me in the car, tears welled up. I know this is going to work. I'm not stopping, but it's challenging, but I knew it was going to happen. It wasn't until I went ahead and, we went ahead and bit the bullet and paid for coaching with Brent Daniels. And so after that, we paid for coaching with Brent at the end of April. And then we had 3 deals in June, and then just took off like a skyrocket, and that big mo just built up. And what I would say is that, you can really do this with YouTube University. The information's out there, but it's like getting a bunch of ingredients and still not necessarily knowing what the recipe is. So I would love to hear your thoughts on coaching, on mentoring, and how that could impact folks. Because a lot of people are, we get into wholesaling quite often because we want to find a way we can do this with, being able to grind, sweat equity, hustle and stuff. And it may be challenging for some folks to pay what sometimes needed to pay for a mentor or a coach. What are your thoughts? I mean, obviously you have a coaching program, but what are your thoughts on coaching and mentoring and getting out there? What can you talk to folks, say about that?
For me, I always pride myself in, I understand that everyone is not going to be my mentee. I understand that I may not be able to reach everyone. But I know when I started, I looked at the idea of me getting coaching from the batch, the idea of me getting coaching from the other people. Because see, when I think very big. And, to see $10,000, to see $15,000 or $20,000 to get coaching at that moment for me was absolutely crazy. I would have not done that if I had the money then. So, I always put myself back in that box. How many people are actually walking around saying that they are going to pay $10,000 for coaching? You are only going to sell that product to a certain level of client. That means that they are already successful in some other arena. So when I created my mentorship, I created it on the basis of all the areas that I felt lost in, all the areas that, no matter how much YouTube I watch, it's just like you said, I'm pulling information from here, but I did not have that thing to connect the dots. Yeah, so yes, right. They will give you some contracts on YouTube. They will give you a way to talk to sellers. They'll even sell you their script for $25. But what I've come to learn is that no script is perfect. You're going to have to understand who your target market is, who you're dealing with. And when I designed my mentorship, I did it because they were all so impersonal. I'm a very personal person. And I felt like if I had one person to show me, it wouldn't have even taken me 3 months. Right. So that's why I keep it one-on-one. And there's months when I block off my mentorship because I'm that full and I have to say, okay, let me get these out of the way. I don't want to exhaust myself, but I understand the need for it. There are a lot of independent entrepreneurs that have that fight in them that really, really can do this. And it's not that I'm giving a secret method or sauce. I'm giving you my method. I'm giving you what works for me. But before you leave my course, I do let you know, hey, don't rush this. Do not rush this, because what worked for me may not work exactly that way for you. Now, I'll get questions like, okay, Miss Sheena, and they say Miss, and some of them are older than me, but they say, okay, Miss Sheena, how long do you realistically think it's going to take me to get my deal? I could give them a mentor type answer and say, hey, Shanita, I could tell them that depends on you. That depends on how much energy and effort you put in it. Wrong answer, because guess what? I know some of them are die hard. They're doing everything that they should. But what happens with wholesale is this right time, right place. And my other thing, talk to people. You have got to talk to people. Let me tell you something. There are people that can scratch surfaces that we would never fathom. And because they like you, they'll put your foot in the gate.
Mm.
That's the way it is.
Mm-hmm. Right.
I don't know. To this day, the person that referred that lady to me has millions of dollars. I didn't even know that.
Oh, wow.
Has loads of properties. I didn't even know that. He was once a wholesaler. Old 74-year-old guy referred it to me.
That's the bottom line. That's
So,
like
remember in how you're teaching people and why you're out there and how you're interacting with people, why you started. And if you're communicating with people, remember you have an end goal. Don't let your end goal get out of your sight. And you really have to have tunnel vision when you're doing this. Let nothing sway you, because I saw one of Max's videos, and I think that caused me to put a fire behind me. He said, all right, I hope you're not one of these people that is watching these videos and you're stuck watching them every single day. You gotta get up. Stop watching these videos. All right, how many videos are you gonna watch? I showed you everything. You know, he did it as a funny video. He said, I showed you everything that I know. Stop watching these videos.
Right, dig it.
So,
ready, shoot, aim. Yeah,
ready, shoot, aim.
Yep.
You have got to get out and pull the trigger. Just like my mentee, Monica Twine, that was in here. I don't know if she's still here, but she is out every day. She just finished my 4 weeks, maybe 2 or 3 weeks ago. She went out, I think her 3rd or 4th day, driving for dollars.
Yeah.
So I would speak to her at the end of the day. And guys, I'm not done coaching you when it's over. I'm just that personal. If I can answer my phone, I will. I give you my boundaries. We respect each other. And guess what? I'm here to help. If I don't want calls at 10, do not call me at 10 o'clock. I'm in the bed. So she got out after 4 days. I think it was 3 or 4 days. She was driving and she said, you know, I think I got something. And I'm like, okay, what do you got? So she's explaining that to me. And sure enough, I took on the property that she brought. We got into PropStream, and she had stumbled upon an owner that had 50-something properties. And they were all just willed to her. Her dad died.
Oh, so she didn't have oh, wow.
He doesn't want them.
Yeah, that's like a hassle for her. Like, what am I doing with these? Oh, no, let me see.
Right now, they're in probate. And she says, you are the first person that I'm going to call. She's kept in contact with her. She's followed up. She's even allowed her to go to one of them that is vacant. I mean, and I told her, I said, that's really major. Like, that's big. And that's how simple this is. Right time, right place. And I did leave out follow up.
Hey,
people respect you on following up.
Yes, yes.
You gotta follow up.
So the thing that I really respect about your approach with the talking to people and building relationships is, you know, they say there's 3 ways you can really get deals. You can prospect, which is like, you know, going out and knocking on doors, making calls, or you can market, where like you have people come to you, like the billboards, the bandit signs, the digital marketing, or you get referrals. And all of them, the undergird is having conversations with folks, but the referrals is definitely having conversations with folks, and it is less money on your ledger and your operating expense. And another thing that I really like about it, Sheena, is that like when you're talking to people, like I heard this before, you know, of course you said we want money, we want their freedom and all, but really it's not as much about money. We want these goals, and really it's not as much about the goals. It's the person you become to reach those goals. And if you are a type of person who are talking to so many folks and having so many relationships that people are thinking about you for 52 deals or giving you the first 4 deals, like how good a quality human being do you have to be and have to maintain, and how beautiful is that? So what are some of the surprise value that you've felt on your in your journey, just even in wholesale and just in your life, like because of the way you are set up and are operating?
I find that number one, let your yes be yes and your no be no, period. Sometimes we want to help the world. And I think that when we're wholesaling, we make the mistake of, in the beginning, I hear a lot of people say they lie to the individuals on the phone. Be honest with them. People respect honesty. Matter of fact, after you have gut punched them with honesty, they respect you. Right. And at the end of that, you know, I have learned that by me being honest with people, me being upfront, you know, I come with a certain assertiveness with me that I it's just in my DNA. And people will value when you tell them you're going to do something and you do it. They will think of you. They will say, well, wow, what an out of box person that actually did what they say they were going to do. Mm-hmm. Because it takes you nothing to just do what you say you're going to do. Now, if something happens, if you can't make a meeting, the other thing is don't ghost anybody. If you say you're going to do something and you can't do it, come back with that one thing. Honesty. Just tell the truth. So you can't keep relationships by not being consistent, by not following up. But more importantly, people just value your honesty. I've not taken on houses because they didn't meet the numbers. They didn't meet what I wanted to do. And it just didn't work. It wasn't in the area that I wanted to be. A matter of fact, I didn't even have a buyer that would work that area. So I was like, it's not a good deal for us right now. Please understand that not every vacant house will be ideal. It may be a project you got to revisit in 24 months, but just don't take it on because that buyer is now, or that seller is now looking at you like, hey, you promised to have my house sold in 30 to 45 days. So in the beginning, we are so ready to close a deal. Yeah, we will take on those houses. We will take them on. And I just had to learn that, don't take on projects that you really, really aren't, if you're not sure, get a second opinion. Call up one of these guys and say, hey, I need you to help me look at this deal. What do you think about this deal? And I really, in all honesty, I knew that this worked when I think I had, maybe I was on my 4th or 5th deal, and I met with this guy. Him and his dad both own one of the largest property managements here in Greenville. And what happened was I was calling their office to get a rental property to live in for myself. Okay. And at the time I was like, I'm looking for this property. I would like to get this property, but mind you, I'm wholesaling as well. So I go out and I go meet the guy. And when I got there, he's showing me the house, and his energy was just like, he was like a male version of me. He was just a nice guy. And he he kept looking at his watch, and I was like, you got another appointment? He's like, yeah. He said, he taught me that making sure that my time management was very important. So he asked me, what do you do? And I told him, I said, well, I wholesale property. And, I started talking to him, and he's like, you do? And I'm like, yeah. He's like, I like to sit down and have lunch with you. Sat down, had lunch. Well, learned that there was not just him, but he had a senior. They turned out to have over 1,500 properties here in Greenville. Yeah, bro. And after I did that, he said, hey, I want you to come to our grand opening. We're expanding our office. And when I got to that grand opening, I met everybody in the entire city that was somebody at that meeting. The next day, he says, hey, I'm going to, I think he was going to Moab with his family. And he says, I left something for you at my desk. I want to thank you for showing up to my meeting or to my grand opening. And I said, okay. So I got to the front desk and I got ready to go inside. And now they had moved into this grand office. And he just was introducing me to everybody, the plumbers. You guys, plumbers are your friends. HVAC people, electricians. I met everybody. I had a stack of cards this high when I left. And it was a big turnout. And I got to this office, and the receptionist apparently didn't know anything about me coming. And I called him, and he says, oh, let her in, send her to my office. He said, there's a bag in my office. Get the bag. There's a drawer, get the bag. So I got the bag. And when I got the bag, it was like the raggediest bag ever. And I'm like, what the heck is this? He said, those are keys to all the properties we want you to wholesale.
Dang.
15 doors.
Wow.
And I'm getting teary-eyed now. All I can do is grab it, go to my car, and I sat there like I didn't even know where my next deal was going to come from. Wow. But when you're not looking, he is. So building those relationships is important. I'm sorry, I got emotional. But that's beautiful. 15 doors that turned into a $1.3 million property project, and it paid me well. Oh my gosh. So that is the lesson I've learned in following up and showing up in actually building authentic relationships with people.
Amen. Oh my gosh. I mean, I read the Go Giver a million times. That sounds like every single lesson in there, giving more in value, being authentic, being able to receive, get your influence, the more people you're connected with. Oh my gosh, like that, you're a walking Go Giver book. That's beautiful.
And how nervous was I to get 15 doors? You know, because remember, I was the person that I walked one deal, watch it close. And once that deal closed, then I started looking for the next deal. So I'm sitting here like, oh my God, who do I call first? I got to call somebody first. Tell them I got all these keys. And it's amazing when stuff like that happens.
And then you bring in value to them because now you got someone on the plate to bring in. And now folks, you may have heard, and it is not a conflict, or I don't know the word I'm trying to use, but earlier we heard you say like make sure that you're comfortable, you know what you're doing, but you also notice that's a difference between that and being discomfort in a healthy way. Get into those rooms where you're not as comfortable, get in the rooms where you're not the smartest person, but with the confidence and humility to know that you are that person. You just have to become that person, you know. And so him opening those doors and you walking into this directly because of the energy you were giving off and you not being afraid to step into the best version of yourself and letting God express God through you. You know, God wants us to be rich. God wants us to express. The universe wants us to express however you want to describe it, because it's the universe is God expressing through us. So heck yeah, that's a beautiful thing. I want to open it up to folks though, because I could chat with you all afternoon. I was so excited about this conversation. And if anybody has any questions or comments they want to make, you can either just throw it in the chat or unmute yourself.
Let me say this while they're unmuting. Yeah. I would like to share this with you because again, relationships is very, very important. I mean, very important. Not only did that 15 doors turn into him connecting me with a buyer way across the country in California, that turned into that 32 unit mobile home park that you guys saw on my page. It was all them.
Oh, wow.
So believe that your one investor is capable of feeding you every single month, because it is, but you have to make sure you're bringing something of value to them so that they're consistently buying from you. And guess what? When he gets a deal from another wholesaler, he says, send it to the queen. Let her
Send the queen. All right. So I got another question too. This is the question I was going to be mad if I didn't ask this. So I'm sorry, folks, but you just said, talk about your Instagram page. You send it to the queen. You got this brand. What tips or what are you doing that's helping you be so cohesive and so clear in your branding that's, you know, representing you? Does that make sense? That question makes sense?
It does. Yeah. And if I had a direct answer, I have an aunt that is phenomenal. She called me and said, hey, you know, she was talking to me about Facebook. I'm not really big on Facebook, but she was letting me know, you know, people have no idea I'm on TikTok, I'm on these things. They think I'm doing these videos. Well, Facebook reached out to her and said, hey, your videos got, I think over 9 million views or something. We want to pay you. So, you know, she's been giving me little tips and stuff, but before then I just be myself. I listen, it took me up until last month, I didn't want to be on anybody's Zoom, but if I'm mentoring people, how can I not be on Zoom? I hate looking at myself. I think we're the worst critics of us in camera. But I think after you do it, you keep doing it. You start to look a little better to yourself in the camera. So you got to keep doing it. But, you know, I just try to give people me, the raw me. A lot of times I'm not loaded down with makeup. I put on a little gloss and let that be that. I talk to them about what I'm actually doing because people can relate with us. They want to see us. And that was something she taught me. She was like, listen, I see the houses, but why don't I see a lot of you? I see the posters. They want to see you.
Can you say that to my partner again? Because like that, I don't mind showing my face, but I think more people want to see her face than they see this face over here. I'm trying to tell her.
I think, you know, I'm just a little old Peabody here, just sitting here. But I think they want to see both of y'all faces.
Hey,
Teamwork makes the dream work here.
Teamwork makes the dream work. Heck yeah. Oh man, this is such a blessing. So folks, go ahead. If there's any thoughts or questions at all, because I definitely want to respect the queen's time.
I'm here for it, man. I love this stuff.
What are we thinking about here?
Well, Sheena, I would just like to thank you, for all that you did share. You definitely shared some gems that are easy to forget. And I think that that's one of the benefits of us coming together and networking like this, because there's nothing new under the sun. It's just a matter of continuing to do what you know will get you to that next level. So thank you.
Thank you so much.
And if folks want to like be a part of your mentorship, how do they connect? Where do you want them to go? What platform do you want them to go to?
So I'm on every platform at this point, except I think I don't have anything on my Twitter. But if you're on Instagram, I'm Learn with the Wholesale Queen. I have a link tree under there. You can get my merch there. You can sign up for my consultation there. If you have questions, I have an actual place there for you to have a consultation with me. And if you have a consultation and you decide you would like to move forward with learning, I actually implement that, and we add those funds back to what you're doing. So your money doesn't go wasted. You can add it to whatever you're doing. And that link tree will take you to everything that is about me. You can learn about me. There's an about me section. Same thing with my Facebook. I'm on there as Sheena Mullins, and I think it's Learn with the Wholesale Queen kind of somewhere underneath there. But same thing. There's links there. You can click on it. Takes you directly to my website. I actually also have learnwiththewholesalequeen.com. So it'll take you right back to my site. Yeah. And SMG Financial, just so you guys know, we didn't touch on this, and I know you guys are ready to go. When you're at that point and you've made it to that area of where you want to branch off, whether you don't have an LLC or an entity form right away and you're just closing deals under your name, the whole idea of wholesaling for me, and you have to know your why, but when I did this because I wanted freedom, and I wanted to have the opportunity to move at my pace when I wanted to. If I don't feel like getting up and doing something for the day, we all have those days. I can do that. And the flexibility to be with my kid and to take her on trips and just be an all around mom, like that is what this is about. But when you start making money in this industry, please pour back into your business. That is absolutely 100% very important. And what I mean by that is brand yourself. There's not going to be another you, but there can be a lot of fakes and foes like you, but brand you so that people can identify who you are. Whether it's customers, whether you're actually feeding to those customers. So when I'm not the wholesale queen, I definitely don't go to the homeowner's house as the wholesale queen. Then I'm SMG Financial. I have merch all over my house. When I go, I grace them with a shirt or a sweatshirt or a hoodie. And I'm just like, hey, nice. Thank you for allowing us to purchase your home. I have an infomercial, and that infomercial is all of, I think, a minute and 15 seconds, letting them know our products and services, how our process will work, and how fast we can close by buying their home with cash. So when you do this, you're going to have to strategically move so that the other wholesalers can recognize you, and the home sellers can recognize you, and the buyers. Wow. And when I present myself to sellers, I definitely don't call myself the wholesale queen.
So what I love about what you're saying too, is that, again, it goes back to those universal laws of influence. Like as an educator, as a teacher, I was connecting 15, 20, 30 people in my classroom, but if I was able to go digital or put things out there, even if it's like shirt and brand awareness, you're able to influence and touch more people. And it's also following the practice that the wealthy practice, multiple streams of income, making money while you sleep, helping people out. These courses that you have, the products that you have out there can be your soldiers and be your apostles out there spreading the gospel while bringing revenue and energy, which is energy, into you and letting you bless your life and bless other people's lives and increase. That is awesome. That is dope. So I'm going to keep bugging you about like some of the like branding and products you put out there. I think everybody should have a product or products, and I'm really inspired. I know we're really inspired by the products that you have out there. So it's exciting to see it. It's exciting time to be alive. I tell you. Jason did have a question here. So vacant homes, is there a certain criteria you use or like prop stream? If so, could you share? Baltimore city especially has a lot of them. Baltimore has a few abandoned houses.
They have a few.
Yeah, just a couple. Yeah, good question.
Right now, I will be quite honest. My phone rings. So 60-70% of my business is referrals. I am using VAs in the Philippines. I allow them to dial for me. So if that's not something you're visiting right in the middle, talking to people, approaching these homes, knocking on doors. I did all of that. I still do that. I will do that. The only thing that stops me, guys, is dogs. I am so afraid. So every time I hear your dog in the background, I'm like, I will not ever knock on your door.
Hell yeah, you hear him back in now, maybe.
I mean, he's like, hey, cool it down. And they just listen right on point. Yeah. He is not a guy you want to mess with because he's going to stick his dogs on you, okay? Yeah. But as far as PropStream, I do use PropStream. I am actually a brand ambassador for PropStream. They saw what I was doing, reached out to me and said that they wanted to have me be a brand ambassador for them. And that was after I was already using their product and their services. So each and every month, I speak with some of the guys over in California, and I'm going to be doing something very, very special, guys. So maybe we can get back together on this, but I will be able to bless someone with a PropStream subscription, not just free for 1 week or 1 month, but I soon will be dropping a PropStream subscription for 1 year. For free. So if you're thinking about wholesaling and you've not had that PropStream and you cannot afford that $97, I'm gonna it'll be out on my social media soon. I'll be sure to give the information to Sheena and Kurt, and it's gonna be $97 a month. It's a value of a lot of money, and you'll be able to use this product for one year for free.
Give them a quick list of what some of the awesome things you can do for PropStream. What's up, Just? What's still?
So many wonderful
things. Yeah.
When you're in PropStream, you can find your cash buyers in PropStream. You can find think about cash buyers are also sellers. That is something that I teach inside my mentorship, okay? Because guess what? If you see an owner that got 1,200 properties, he got to have a raggedy house that he doesn't want.
Something. So always cycling in and out too, right?
That's right. And if they don't want to sell, I'm meeting with them. And by the time they leave, I'm like, okay, you don't have anything to sell? You sure? So you can talk to someone and they'll simply be honest with you about what their goals are, what they're doing. You can drive for dollars in PropStream. Not only can you use it on your desktop, you can actually get on the virtual drive for dollars and drive for dollars on your computer without leaving your house. So you're scoping the neighborhood in actual real time. It'll show you the update if it's 2022, if it's 2021, at least you'll know what year you're in if it's updated in that area. You can find pre-foreclosures, you can find vacants, you can find foreclosures, you can find even sometimes the distress, but more importantly for our big shots out there, you can find high equity. And what that means is you're getting a house with a whole lot of equity, it's a whole lot of potential, a whole lot of money in this mother, as they say. So those deals are all things that you can find. You can do rehab budgets in there. It allows you to pull comps in there. So those are all the things that you need to have a successful business.
One other thing I really like about it, even on its lower tier plan, they give you about 10,000 a month list that you can pull. So it's like, it's super sweet. More than you'll probably be able to have. So it's so many awesome things. You all be on the lookout for that. I'm going to go ahead and close us off. This is the Capacity to Be Meetup. We're meeting every third Thursday, 7:00, bringing amazing folks who are diverse, Black and brown, and all different type of folks in the space, so we can see that we can do this. We got the capacity to do this. I'm with the Aqua team. I heard a lot of people from Baltimore. If you go to www.atwholesaledeals.com, we love partnering with folks or just you connecting and all this stuff. It's amazing. I'm always on Instagram and after around 4, 5, 6 at night, fumbling, stumbling, bumbling through, just showing people that you can do these deals, talking to sellers and all. You saw Sheena at Learning with the Wholesale Queen, all her tags that she gave you, great value. Go find her, go check her out, learn, grow, and increase. And do you have any other things you want to share with us before we get out of here?
One other question.
Oh yeah. Oh, yep. Oh, sorry. Yeah. For everyone on this panel, I'm interested in doing a flip. I'd like to start in Baltimore. What areas would you recommend for someone who has never done a rehab before in Baltimore for a flip in Baltimore? Oh man, so I would recommend. Oh, sorry.
No, I said it's tough.
I would recommend though that you try between like the median. Don't try for too low. Try for like 120K to 250 is that sweet spot as far as the after repair value. And the reason that I would say that is because quite often banks and the people that these end buyers are going to, or the people you're going to sell to, need to qualify for a loan. And a lot of banks don't want to, sell loans for 100K or less because it takes them the same amount of time for like 120, 130. And sometimes, not saying anything bad about a population, but if you can only afford like an 80K property, there's a lot of like that escrow underwriting stage, a lot of stuff can mess up and maybe credit's challenging and stuff. So you have a lot of variables, but if someone can afford 120K property to a 250K property, that's probably the area that I would stay in. So it's not necessarily a zip code or area, but I would look for those type of deals. And what's good about that too, is if you don't go over 200K, my dogs, if you can't flip it for whatever reason, heck, you got a bank account now. You can just burr it out, Airbnb it out, or something like that. But you probably won't do anyways. I think holding properties is great, but that's what I would say as far as Baltimore is concerned. But Sheena or Shanita or anybody else who's up here, anybody have any thoughts to that? We can all help each other.
I think in the county, I mean, it's right outside of the city. You can probably find more flips, prospects for flipping in the county. We all know Baltimore City is block to block, sometimes part of the street. Right.
You can be on one side of the street,
Yeah, just, make sure you have strong comps because that's really what's going to be necessary in order for you to be able to flip that property.
Another reason for that, Baltimore, we're part of that change, but people love being around good schools and stuff like that. And sometimes there's a challenge or even a negative stereotype for some of the schools there, but that doesn't discourage you. You can do whatever you put your mind to. But Justin on Instagram says 21224 zip code. And then he shouts out you again, Sheena, and shouts out PropStream. There's no way you can't close the deal if you use PropStream. So getting that thing for a year, shoot, that is crazy. That is wonderful.
Yes, I will be putting that out there. Make sure I get the information. I have to connect with Shanita also. I don't have any of her contact, but I would love to connect with you.
Well,
I saw you had a cute pooch back there. I don't do the big dogs. I do the 5-pounders. My pooch is somewhere in here too, hiding out. So I love that. Look, I love that already. I saw the dog and I was like, uh-oh.
Yes, that's my baby. That's my baby.
Charm City.
But we definitely will have to connect, Sheena. I don't know, you just have this like amazing nature.
Exactly.
So I look forward to connecting more.
Thank you so much. I appreciate that. Well, you guys, let me just thank you for having me. I appreciate you thinking enough of me to bring me here and allowing me to speak with your platform. I'm going to have to do a return favor and bring you back. And I would like to extend that. Matter of fact, we may have to do a better than get on a Zoom. I might have to fly to Baltimore and come. We're gonna do a real live panel.
Yeah, let's make it happen. Yeah. Absolutely.
Let's
make it happen for real. Well, that's already happened. Time is an illusion. It's already happened. Well, thank you so much. Thank you everybody who jumped in. You brought them in.
Yep. Oh, this is Braxton again. Just want to say thank you guys for speaking and everything like that. Definitely learned a lot. I'm very excited to possibly connect with you guys and learn from you guys. I definitely want to be more involved, and everything like that, because wholesaling is fun. It's a lot, but yeah, definitely want to do more in the community and things like that. Yeah, I do have an Instagram page, a little message in chat, but yeah, I do have an Instagram page. I went ahead and followed Miss Sheena, and I did go ahead and follow you guys on Instagram as well. So go ahead.
Oh, I'm sorry. This is for prosperity's sake. This is out in the YouTube world. What's your Instagram page? Somebody might be looking at this a year, 2 years from now, and need help from you, Braxton. And
it's Braxton with the 8. So just Braxton the way you usually spell it, and then with the 8 in the beginning. So 8 RAXTON. Followed you guys.
I got you. Okay.
Yeah. I followed you guys, everything like that. Definitely want to get more involved with that, with wholesaling. I've been doing it since 2019, pretty much, like you guys. But as of recently, I just got a job as a loan officer working remote for Rocket Mortgage. So kind of I'm on both sides of real estate now, which is very interesting. So it's very interesting. And then maybe possibly seeing about the challenges of maybe getting a real estate license at the same time. But we'll see about that. But yeah.
Well, man,
I would like to say something to you. Just touch. I heard you earlier, but it slipped my mind that you are a loan officer. Let me tell you that my very first mentee was also a loan officer right when the pandemic hit, and he sourced his first $35,000 deal with me that he profited.
Wow.
Officer, he got laid off right at the cusp of COVID, and they laid off over 90 employees at the mortgage company that he was at. And he got out, and he was flustered, and he was frustrated, and he's like, I got to do this. Like, I know this. I know how to do this. I know the other side. I know the money. I know how to lend it. And I'm like, well, this is where you got to get it at. Let's do it.
Yeah, and I will say the thing about the thing about being at such a big mortgage company like that is so many high earning people, and they're a marketing machine. And it's just the fact that we call people 3 times every single day. We don't care to blow up people's number because we're getting in contact with them. And that's something, those little small things that I've applied to my personal business, little small sales tips. I'm getting free $1,000, sales trainings. Basically, I'm applying those to my business, and they're working. So I really like just talking to people. Like, shout out Britt Daniels, everything like that. Talking to people all day long. I'm pretty much talking to people about real estate 12, 14 hours a day almost at this point. So yeah,
that makes so much sense, man. Because when we get off here, how many ads we gonna see? You open your newspaper, how many times you gonna see Mattress Firm? How many times we gonna see? Oh, they bombard us. So we gotta open our mouths.
It's definitely it's really crazy.
And Braxton, that's really funny that you touched on that. I was telling another mentee inside of one of my Zooms. I said, my VAs are like, hey, when are we going to get some new leads? Because they're looking at that they've called these leads 7 or 8 times. And I'm looking at these leads are good until they say, do not call me. We're calling 5, 6 times a day. So they're good leads. You just didn't get anybody that day.
I'm gonna clip that. I'm gonna clip that and share that with us. I mean, on my team, we follow up and everything, but we need to. Yep, exactly.
Yeah. I'm glad that you said that, because what happens is the massive companies. That's something that you guys can remember when you're wholesaling. Right. You're already operating on a different level than these bigger companies, and I can share something with you that I have an investor that buys in 16 states. So I'm constantly competing, not with just people in my states. I'm competing with these other states that they're working in, and they're buying about 40 houses a month just here. So with that being said, they're telling me, talking to the Wholesale Queen, how they're ready to put in a system that's going to try to wean us away. Because guess what? They're hiring over, and they're trying to hire the VAs. They're trying to hire sales team so that they can cut us out. So you guys got to stay on your feet and stay on your toes and find out another way. What separates you from the massive company is the one-on-one, the touch, the meeting, the getting in personal. Because how many 800 numbers will call them and they don't want to talk? So please remember that we have to continue to not invent the wheel, but be inventive with what we're doing. So it's very important.
There it is. All right, folks. Everyone collect all the gems. Now, ain't nothing just to hold them. You got to go use them. All these gems we got here. Let's go use it. Let's go be great people out there in the world. Yeah. Thank you again, Sheena. Thank you, everyone who connected. I can't wait to keep connecting. Me and Sheena going to definitely jump in and just keep growing. And proud that you let us be a part of your journey and learn from you and grow with you and all. It's awesome. Same thing with y'all out there.
You guys and all of you, everyone in this Zoom. Very nice to meet all of you. And feel free to message me if you have any questions. If I see it, I'll answer it right away. I promise. I have no problem talking and chatting with people.
Yeah. All right, folks. We'll see you all the next time. Y'all go out there and be great. Rise the tides and lift ourselves.
Every third Thursday, 7 o'clock. Every third Thursday.
Heck yeah. Peace
Thank
out,
you,
everyone.
Sheena. Thank you so much.
Have a great night.